Hi, my name is Dr. Glenn Fink, and I'm the author of the new book that's coming out, The Gospel, God's Great Undoing. It's coming out this fall, and it's all about the story of the universe and your role in that story. So last time we talked about the what went wrong and why it's somehow my fault. That even though Adam and Eve messed up, it's actually my fault too, because I belong to that part of that federal head. We're all connected together. And this time I'm going to talk to you about the choice that they actually made and why it turned out the way it did. So I remember when I was a child, my dad was fixing a surprise for me for Christmas, and it was going to be so great. And he every day he would tell me a little bit about what he's. Oh, I'm going to the garage. I'm going to work on it. I used to watch him work with wood, but then he wouldn't let me go into the garage anymore while he was working on it because he had a surprise, and it just was eating me up to find out what that surprise was. It was all lumpy. It was underneath the table. It was covered with a tarp. I knew there was something there, but I didn't know what it was. And so one day, when he was taking a nap, I decided I had to find out. I snuck in the garage. I looked underneath the tarp and I saw this beautiful miniature landscape with houses and animals and people and a miniature N-gauge train track. And I thought, wow, this is so beautiful. This is so amazing. But as soon as I saw it, my heart sunk. I was like, oh, this was his surprise and I wasn't supposed to know about it. And just that taste of forbidden knowledge ruined that Christmas for me. You know, my dad never found out about that, and I did try to pretend really hard like I was excited, because I would have been excited if I hadn't spoiled it. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to spoil a good surprise by taking something too early. You know, relationship is the foundation of the universe. God himself is a relationship of three persons. And when you choose something over relationship, like say knowledge over relationship, you can really spoil it. Relationship maintains the universe. It's the power behind the universe. It's the motivator. You know, relationship is the motivator for me to clean my room, or the motivator for me to pay my bills, and all these things. It makes us do things that are important to us. And without relationship, we're always fighting chaos. We're getting into entropy. We need to have the power to do something and the design, and those things come from other people and from relationships that we have. So back in the Garden of Eden, there was one choice: do not eat the tree. It wasn't a choice, it was a command, just one command, right? And they had a choice whether they're going to obey it. And they chose, instead of to obey, they chose knowledge that was offered to them by the devil over relationship with God that was supposed to be ongoing. And they stole the fruit. And that in that piece, that shiny piece of fruit, I wish they could have seen all the hell and rejection and suffering and disease that came out of it. I wonder if they might have made a different choice. But they chose what they chose, and we all have to pay for it. And I want you to know, though, there were two trees in the garden. There was the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and then there was the tree of life. They had a choice. They didn't have to eat either one. They were not supposed to eat the tree of knowledge, but they could have had the tree of life. But they chose to follow the tree of knowledge. Now, why? They wanted that power. You know, relationship gives us power, and it gives us the freedom to choose. But freedom is dangerous. Freedom gives us the ability to mess up. The knowledge that God put in the garden, that was not the devil's tree. That was God's tree. He put it in there. It was a good tree. And I believe personally that he always intended that we would someday take from that tree and eat and learn and be able to gain knowledge. It gave us a capacity to gain and understand knowledge that we didn't have before. And I think he always intended us, but he intended it to be founded on relationship. Knowledge without relationship will almost always go bad. It's like a robot that has all the intelligence but doesn't have any morals or any good desires. So you can think of it this way. It wasn't bad that they got knowledge. They just got it in the wrong way and at the wrong time. If you eat apples, apples are good. But if you go to the tree when the apples are green, they're not good. They're not ripe. If you have sex outside of a loving monogamous marriage relationship, sex is good. But outside of that, it causes all kinds of problems and produces all kinds of bad fruit. So Satan used their desire to have knowledge, which was a good thing God wanted them to have, and did it at the wrong time and in the wrong way, and that caused all the problems. Knowledge is power. That means it's dangerous. But there are ways to gain knowledge that are not dangerous if we would submit first to God's relationship with us. So submitting to God's authority doesn't just give us the knowledge that we're looking for and the power that we're looking for. It also gives us safety. Inside of a safe relationship with God, just like inside of a safe marital relationship or inside of a safe relationship where you own the garden and you're waiting for it, inside of those boundaries, knowledge is beautiful power. And it gives safety and true freedom. It wouldn't have resulted in all the wars and hell and rape and terrible things that happen in the world if they had just done it God's way. So next time we'll talk about what it means to belong to God's house. Keep on the lookout for the book coming out this fall. We'll talk about that more later on. And thank you very much for your time and attention. Please like and subscribe to this video and share it with your friends. Thanks a lot.